Okay, this is my spring TBR. Spring started on the 23rd of September in Cape Town and should end around 13 November. And yeah, I am feeling really ambitious because I'm looking at all the books I have right now in front of me, and some of them are quite thick. And we'll start off by what I'm currently reading. And I'm reading The Hurting Kind by Ada Limón. I got this the day after I put it on my book wish list. I went to Bargain Books and I was like, you know what? It's the only copy here. That is a sign. And I got it and I'm loving it. I'm at the summer section. It's 100 pages long. It has a lot of about the natural world. I don't understand a lot about poetry. I just know that when I read it, I am really moved and I feel something, and that's enough for me. It's so moving. I've marked some of my favorite poems, and of course, the end of poetry is at the end, and I love it a lot. And I can't wait to read this all over and over again, and until I understand it completely. And yeah, I'm loving it. Kiss. I am also reading The Drum Decade, stories from the 1950s, edited by Michael Chapman. This is my commute read, and yeah, I think that's very engaging. The stories are really lived in. They feel like on the ground because these are writers who, this is nonfiction, and they were reporters and writing on the ground, and very similar to everyday experience in South Africa that we have now. They aren't, I mean, there are obviously a lot of differences between like the 1950s South Africa and 2023 South Africa. Um, but also the stories about, let's say, crime or suffering of some kind are still very similar to this present reality. And yeah, I do wish there were like more pictures here that were colored. There are like some here. I found like a favorite picture the other day when I was at the train. Because like drum is so iconic. It has you when you think about drum, you think about these iconic images, and to me, it's such a shame that they wouldn't have included them here. Um, this is one of my favorite pictures in the book. It's something so romantic, and I just love seeing Black people in love. And yeah, I picked it up and I immediately went to Can Temba's story. Um, and it wasn't as, because it's not his fiction, it's nonfiction. I wasn't like really impressed with it, but I did like, um, I'm just, I mean, it wasn't like bad, like Mob Passion by Cantemba wasn't like bad, but I don't know what like I was expecting. Okay, Mob Passion was good. Let the People Drink was like okay, like a solid report. I think I just expected his fictional style of work, and I was a bit confused then when it didn't really align because these are more of like newspaper articles more than anything. And yeah, I really again wish they had printed the photos um and not in black and white but in like color, because these are like the iconic images. And again, such a shame that they didn't like put more in the book, but I guess rights and everything. And then I'm also reading, I haven't picked this up in quite a while to be honest, Crime and Punishment by Dostoyevsky, and I'm reading the David Macduff um, translation. I feel kind of like bad by the fact that I haven't read this in quite a while because I was just going on and on to everyone about how I needed this translation, and not like I hunted for it, but like I ordered it from exclusive books, and they had to ship it to the Cape Town store because they didn't have it here. And yeah, it's very dense, and the writing is very small. And yeah, but I think once I've paid a lot of attention and settled in, I'm going to love it. I really believe I'm gonna love it. I've also noticed like a theme where I'm always reading books about murder around this time. Last year it was The Secret History as well as Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. So interesting, and interesting cover as well, because at first I was like, this is very ugly, and then I noticed that this is an eye, and it changed my whole perspective. And yeah, my first Dostoyevsky. I want to finish. I need like some, not like light, but thin books. I'm gonna read the William Carlos Williams' Death the Barber. It's the 40th on the Penguin's Modern Classics, or Penguin Modern, and Vladimir Nabokov's Lance, 49. And yeah, these are poems. This is a short story. Doable. I'm not, I think this, no, I'm not, I think this will be my first Nabokov. I'm very scared to read Lolita. I don't think I can be in the mindset of a character like that, but I'm also really interested in Nabokov's craft. Yeah, maybe I'll check his other works out. I do think that they also do have dark themes though, so I don't know. I'll see though after I've read Lance. This is technically not part of my spring TBR. A Storm of Swords, the second book, Blood and Gold. I finished the first one. I just was, I saw like a Tumblr post about something, A Song of Ice and Fire related. And I was like, I need to get back into this because I love these so much, but very thick, very thick. But since I'm familiar with the world, it does get very easy to get into it. Um, and then I want to read The Lost Daughter by Elena Ferrante. This will be my first Ferrante. I'm planning to read My Brilliant Friend during the summer, so that will be on my summer TBR. And yeah, I'm curious about this. I haven't watched the movie. Hopefully, I'll watch it after. I know this is from the movie, and apparently, the movie wasn't as good. So, curious. Also, planning to read Public Library and Other Stories by Ali Smith. I really love the cover of this. I'm 99% sure that it's from like a movie. And yeah, I read the first like pages, and I wasn't really impressed. But this was a while ago when I first got this. The writing is quite big. I always laugh when writing is this big for adults, but I shouldn't say anything because I wear glasses, so maybe it is for my benefit. And last but not least is Petals of Blood by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. This will be my first wa Thiong'o. I went to see him in East London a couple of years ago, and I've never read any of his novels. And he is like, I feel like an African novelist who's a staple that I should read in general. And I'm really keen to. I read a couple of pages this other afternoon and I was immediately hooked. So I'm curious to see where it's going to go and to be on a journey with it. Got this for 50 Rand at the Help the Rural Child charity bookshop. And yeah, so that is my spring TBR. I I don't know, I feel like it's like a doable TBR. There's the most of the books aren't that lengthy, except for maybe the Crime and Punishment as well as A Storm of Swords. I guess Ngugi wa Thiong'o is quite thick as well because the font is very small, but I don't feel, it's like 300 and something pages, which is not that long. I don't feel intimidated. I feel really excited for it, in fact. Not anticipating anything uh, above 3 stars for this. I am anticipating this to probably is going to be one of my favorite reads. Um, this is definitely one of my favorite reads already, and it's, yeah, and I love George R. R. Martin, so I know for a fact what I know what's happened here. I'm not sure if I'm prepared to be devastated again, but yeah, I'm very excited for this and for my reading plans in general. I feel like I haven't had like made a TBR in so long, and I am ready to get crackling on my reading. And yeah, I hope this video uploads by the end of today because I've been having really bad internet issues. And but like I'm also just like it's fine because I know I did it, I made it. And yeah, anyway,